So on this video, we have this nice little trick that we use to solve equations involving complex numbers. It turns out that when you have a equation involving complex numbers, you actually have two different equations. So we say that first of all, we need to know when two complex numbers are equal before we can write out equations involving complex numbers. So two complex numbers are equal when their real parts are equal and their imaginary parts are equal. They both have to be equal. So that sort of makes sense if you think about it. So 1 plus 3i equals 1 plus 3i. It doesn't equal 1 plus 2i, for example. So if you have a plus bi equal to c plus di, that's actually two equations. It means the real parts have to be equal, a equals c, and the imaginary parts have to be equal, b equals d. Remember, the imaginary part doesn't include the I. B equals d. So that's actually two equations. That one complex equation breaks down into two real equations. That is, equations with real numbers. So for example, solve x plus iy equals 5 minus 3i, where x and y are real numbers. Okay, well, the x has to be equal to 5 and the y has to be equal to negative 3. It's that simple. Hopefully you can see that. And again, the imaginary part of a complex number is the coefficient of I, not the term including the I. So not the whole imaginary term. Okay, so here's a second example. Solve square root of 5i minus 3 plus 4i equals x plus yi plus 3i, where x and y are real numbers. Blah. Well, how do you solve this? Well, you take all the imaginary parts and set them equal to each other, and then you set the real parts equal to each other. So you just look at this is two different equations. So you have, for the real one, negative 3 is the only real term on the left, right? There's two imaginary terms and one real term. So negative 3, and then on the right, the only real term is x, so negative 3 equals x, or x equals negative 3 if you want, right? Then you do the same thing with all the imaginary parts. So square root of 5 plus 4 equals y plus 3. Solve for y. So you move this term 3 to the left, it becomes minus 3. So you get square root of 5 plus 1 equals y. Or y equals, if you want to write the y on the left, you're okay. That's fine. Y equals 1 plus square root of 5. So those are pretty straightforward. They don't really make them harder than that in your text. So just make sure you understand these. If you don't understand them, you can't do them at all. If you understand them, they're super easy. So yeah, definitely make sure you understand them. Ask me questions about this if you don't get it.